Hi boys and girls, every crook loves to make easy money. In real estate, even a small scam produces tons of money. So many crooks flock into the real estate market to make easy money. On the other hand, the victim who loses money in a real estate scam gets frustrated, and that frustration lives for 5 years, 10 years, or even for the rest of his life. This is Arvind Jain, a long-term property and cashing expert. I love to grow communities of property investors who are busy building property empires of 20 crores, 50 crores, or 100 crores. I am presenting you a video series of different property scams just to help you escape these property scams and help you secure your properties as far as possible. So let's dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, scam number 1, ownership scam. Let's understand why ownership scams happen mostly in countries like India, Pakistan, the South Asian countries, and it does not happen in the Western countries, because the Western countries have rewritten their laws, have modernized their laws based on the current lifestyle of the people. But Indian laws still follow the old British era laws, which assumes that Indian people are living in the old agrarian lifestyle and they have not upgraded their lifestyle. But the reality is most people in India have upgraded their lifestyle has changed, the way they earn money, the way they save money, and the way they invest money into properties has changed. But this change is not reflected in the laws. So in a very simple manner, if I have to explain you, most of the laws assume that we still live in joint families. Let's say the example, you're buying the land of Rishi. Though all the land records show the name of Rishi, but many laws assume that actually that land or that property is owned by the joint family of Rishi, or the joint family of Rishi's father, or the joint family of Rishi's grandfather. So if you're buying a land from Rishi, it's not enough if Rishi comes and signs all the documents and hands over the property to you. It is important that some Rishi's cousins, or some Rishi's far-off cousins, or some Rishi's far-off uncles also have to come and sign those documents. Now, if this confusion is not enough, let me tell you one more confusion which could pop out. It could be possible that Rishi would have married 2 times, or Rishi's father would have married 2 times, or Rishi's grandfather would have married 2 times, or Rishi's some of the cousins or granduncles or great-granduncles would have married 2 times. And that adds more to the confusion, and getting all these people, especially when you're buying a big chunk of property which is held by a family for, say, more than 30, 40, 50 or 100 years, it's important that the entire family in which there are stepwives and stepbrothers, they all assemble and sign the documents and deliver it to you. And if this does not happen, there is every chance of litigation, and the property in which you have invested lakhs or crores of rupees could end up being litigated in a court of law. Until that litigation does not get over, one cannot develop the property, one cannot divide the property into pieces and sell it into the market. So all the investment gets blocked. The second source of confusion is if you're buying the land of Rishi, it's not enough. If Rishi signs the documents alone, all legal heirs of Rishi have to come and sign the documents. What do I mean by legal heirs? Just assume for a minute that if Rishi dies in a moment, then all the people who get a share in Rishi's properties have to come and sign all the documents. Now, there are different laws which define the different legal heirs of Rishi, and that creates a second confusion. Now, let me give you 2 stories, one short story and one long story, which will give you an idea about how complex this problem can become, especially when you do big transactions on land and property. This happened in my office, say about 12 years ago. A client wanted to buy a land from a developer, and the developer told that the father and son would come and sign the documents. I felt fishy about him. I told my client, let's drive to the village. We went to the village and we met the father and son, and there we found out that the father had 3 more daughters. And then we came back to the developer. We told him that we want all the 3 daughters to sign the documents. The developer refused. He told he does not have additional funds to arrange the travel and to pay the 3 daughters of that family. So he refused. He told us, you better leave the plot. My client was able to understand me, and he was able to understand the risk in the transaction. So he happily resigned on that plot, and he went ahead and started looking for some other plot. I'll give you another long story. One of my aunties became a widow about 15 years ago, and about 4 years ago, one of her son passed away, who was an earning member of the family. She was desperately wanted some apartment or something so that her another son, who was slightly handicapped, could have a safe future, could have a shelter over his head. She was desperate to buy some cheap apartment. Someone advised my auntie that there are some donors who will subsidize her apartment, and they sent her to a person. The person gave my auntie a beautiful scheme. He told my auntie has to pay only 3 lakhs and 17 lakhs some other donor would give up, and she would get an apartment worth 20 lakhs. My auntie rushed to me. She requested me, Arvind, somehow just come with me, meet the person who's selling the apartment and tell me if everything is clear. When I went with my auntie, a software engineer also joined us, who recently got a promotion, and she became a leader, and she had enough savings, and she also wanted to take advantage of this scheme. So we met this person who was selling the apartment, and he told us 3 beautiful stories. The first story he told, that how as a pious member of the Jain community, he follows all the rituals, all the customs, and what a great life he leads, what a simple and a beautiful, very Jainic life he lives. The second story he told us was about his daughter who studies in America, who's doing her medicine in America, and while studying her medicine in America, she follows all the Jain rituals of having few food after sunrise and before sunset, which is a very small part of the day in countries like America, and still she manages her hectic student schedule in America. The third story he told me was about his daughter again, who goes shopping in America, and there, when she buys any food in a grocery store, she looks at the contents and she looks for all the vegetarian contents, and she ensures that she lives a strict vegetarian life even in a hectic place like America. By now I started feeling very hot. I told the developer, please show us the land and the apartment. So he arranged a cab, we saw the land and the apartment, and after we came back seeing the apartment, I asked the developer, who is the owner of the land and who is developing the apartment? And how have they authorized you to sell those apartments? Can you just explain it to me? The developer put my query aside, and he told me that as a lawyer, what all queries I have, I could send him an email and he would respond to it. And then he started, he put his entire focus on me, and he told me that he has another company where they do this portfolio management. They invest in international stocks across different stock exchanges, and how I could be a part of that business. I could make a lot of money, and I could get returns as high as 8 to 10% if I invested with him. Then he also told me that if I get my clients and invest with him, he would pay me for every client. He would pay me a commission for every client I get to him, and also every time they invest and they make money, he would also share recurring commissions with me. So after I came back to my office, I sent a detailed email about all the things which I wanted to know and all the documents which I wanted from him, and the developer never responded. I warned my auntie not to buy the apartment, and my auntie agreed to me and she backed out. But the software engineer went ahead and she paid him 3 lakhs, and even after 1 year, after 2 years, the apartment was not delivered to her. And she was a bold lady, and that guy was a softy guy, so somehow she went in, she quarreled with him, she threatened him black and blue inside his office. And out of the 3 lakhs advance, she got more than 50%, and she lost about 1 lakh or more than that. But in many cases, people are not as strong as that software engineer, and the person on the other side who's cheating an investor will not be a soft guy. They are tough guys. And many times after 1 year or 2 years, those guys are not sitting over there in the same office. They change their offices, they even change their faces, they even change their names. It is very difficult to trace. It is very difficult to trace a crook, and it is very difficult to go to the police complaint and ensure that police takes action against them. So ladies and gentlemen, whenever you are doing any big investment in properties, it is worth the money to hire an experienced and a sincere lawyer who goes deep into the documents and who goes deep into the actual situations which are prevailing over there and gives you a honest advice. Hi friends, whenever I have detected an ownership scam, I have seen some strange behaviors which is commonly practiced by all the sellers. Firstly, the seller will tell you that along with you there are a couple of other buyers who are desperate to buy that land, and if you don't confirm well on time, he has no other option but to go and sell the land to them. In such a case, comfortably tell the land seller that you are not 100% sure that you're going to buy that land. He can comfortably go and deal with them, and you have no problem. You are ready to wait. Next, to make this deal run smoothly, to make the scam run smoothly, the landowner may offer you 2 or 3 other schemes. It could be an urgent offer scheme, it could be an assured rental return scheme, or it could be an assured return scheme. All these additional schemes are offered to you to tempt you to buy fast, to tempt you to act fast, to tempt you to lower your due diligence and avoid investigating certain hidden facts about the property. So in any property transaction, before you invest your lakhs and crores of rupees, please take your time to detect as many things as possible, to find out as many things as possible. Guys, before you sign off, I would like to share a few golden nuggets with you. You can click on the links below and get my book on building a cash pumping lifestyle, or you can join Property Players Hub and get a lot of information and tips to build your cash pumping property empire that can impact many of your generations ahead. See you soon in some other video.